Hi everyone, it's Catherine here from Chaos Creates, and I'm here to share with you a layout I'm creating for Confessions of a Paper Addict. And I'm using one of the brand new release cut files from the Tooth Fairy, and this is my first tooth. So I've gone ahead and cut it on some white cardstock, and as you can see, the tooth sections I've actually used some Stickles glitter gel in Moon Dust, and I'm going to be pairing this layout with the Jen Hatfield Reaching Out collection. And as you can see, I have these, I don't know whether you call them gory, anyway, not very nice photos, but this is a photo of my son Sebastian, taken back in June. And he has had teeth, his big teeth, so these are his first big teeth, coming through, and his front teeth are not wobbly yet. So this was the first one to pop through that we noticed. So I've trimmed this white cardstock down to, I think, 11 inches. So I'm just going ahead and picking out some papers that I want to make as the border around that. So I've got the Jen Hatfield collection. I bought these paper pads, I think it's Spotlight here in Australia, and then I ordered online some of the other embellishments because I really liked the Jen Hatfield collection and I wanted to use it. So I'm going to choose this sort of plaid paper, and I'm going to go ahead and gut it because, as you'll see in a moment, I'm going to actually use the inside to back my cut file as well. But first of all, I have to rough up the edges of this white cardstock. So I'm going to go ahead and do that with my edge distresser. And I really love this sort of pinky color paper. I was tossing up between using the black and white photo because of the image. But, you know, like sometimes it's not the best photo and you just have to document it. Like this was a really important step in Seb's, new teeth coming through. So it's an exciting time for him. He's now got both of the bottom front teeth come through, and one of his baby teeth is now wobbly. So he's super excited. He's really keen to, get it out and have the tooth fairy come. So as you can see, I'm just holding that up to the cut file there, and I'm actually going to use this inner section to to back the cut file. So I'm using a technique here, which I do with a lot of the block letter cut files. If I use block letters, I tend to use this technique. So I go ahead and trace around the letters just with a grey lead pencil. These sort of finer grey leads are really helpful because you can kind of get into the edge of the cut file. And then I'm going to go ahead and just leave a little margin around that grey lead pencil mark, just so that it gives a little bit so that it'll stick onto that cut file there. I'm just going to show you the M here. I don't show you all of this cut file, but I just wanted to give you, an insight into how I do these kind of bigger title cut files. So as you can see, I'm just using this art glitter glue. I really love this glue. I think I've talked about it before. I'm not sponsored by no means. I buy all this product, but yeah, it's really good. So yes, I go ahead and stick that down on the M. And yeah, there was just a little piece that was sort of sitting up, so I'm just putting a bit of glue there to keep that in place. And then once that's done, I kind of go around and trim around the edges if there's any excess. So as you can see, I've come back, I've backed that whole cut file, and I'm really liking how that's looking. Sorry, it probably does look a bit funny, this sort of plaid or crosshatch paper on camera, but in real life it looks great. So I'm going to use this color photo because I feel like the tones match in with the photo. And again, sorry if this, it isn't the nicest photo, but, like I said, you have to document all the things. So I'm just going through and working out what else I can back this photo on. I do have the, I think it's a 6x8 paper pad, but I do decide just to use another piece from that inner piece of the 12x12. And I just wanted a little thin border. So I'm going to go ahead and just use my big chopping scissors. I think these are, I'm not sure what brand those scissors are, but I do like the big scissors just to get a really straight line on cutting around that frame. Now I'm going to go through, and I won't show you all this, but I do, I cut some of this out because it did take a while. I haven't used this collection before. It's the first time I've used it. So I'm just going through, picking out the pieces of ephemera I wanted to use. And then I decided that there's a lot of gold in this collection and I wanted to use some gold in other places. So I was second guessing myself, but I'm using this Close to My Heart gold glitter pen just to add a little bit more, gold look on those teeth. So as you can see, I've sort of laid a few things out and I'm trying them, but I do decide to bring in a stencil, and I'm using the Distress Oxide in Tattered Rose and this Obed Marshal stencil, the floral stencil. I think that's from the Buenos Dias collection. Sorry, I'm probably not saying that right, but I'm kind of second guessing myself again here and just seeing if I should bring in some other pattern paper. But I decided to go ahead with the stencil, and I'm using my blending brush. This is just from Kmart here in Australia, and I love this technique. And so I had to move the stencil across, and I'm just showing you the end there, but it's my favorite technique to do, and I'm really liking how that's looking. But I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle some gold glitter spray. This is a Jen Hadfield glitter spray as well. It's very similar to the Heidi Swap Color Shine. So I'm using that to sprinkle around. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm putting my title flat to the page. I do use some foam adhesive on some of the other elements on the page, but I wanted this, the cut file actually to sit on the page flat. So I'm just using my glue again. I've used my T-square ruler to line up to make sure that that title is straight. And then I'm just lifting it as I go so that it's going to remain straight. And I'm just putting a bit of glue there. It's really good to use wet adhesive, even on this minimal kind of mixed media. I think the wet adhesive works well. Now, as you can see, I'm pulling out some foam tape squares here to bump up those teeth. I did want them to stand off the page. And I'm just adding a little bit more glue to those outer portions of the teeth. I've gone ahead and I've stuck those teeth down, and I like how they're sort of shining. I'm going to sit my photo down here below the TH on the tooth. And now I'm just going to go ahead and embellish. And with this cut file, the layout really came together really quickly because the cut file's my title. It's giving me a couple of sort of embellishments with the teeth and doing that sort of thing. So now I'm just going ahead and picking out some floral pieces. I really like the florals in this element. And I do find this piece here, I guess it's like a library tag but it says, dream big. So I decided to cut it down and use the big because I did want to call this, have this title be my first big tooth. So I'm just adding some of the elements around, and I do go ahead off camera and stick down most of these pieces. So I use some wet adhesive to stick down the florals flat, and then I've popped up some of the other elements. So the top banner in that top floral cluster, I've bumped up on some foam adhesive, and I like that rainbow there that says smile. Obviously, he's not smiling in this photo, but his smile is quite interesting now. He's got, four teeth at the bottom front. So I'm just sticking down this other sort of banner piece with some foam adhesive. And I find these little squares quite tricky to work with. I don't know about you, but I like using them, but they're a bit tricky to peel off with peel off the backing and things as well. And that says heck yes at the bottom there. So I'm just looking through the sticker sheet just to see what else I can use. But I'm really liking this. My go-to generally, or quite often I should say, is a diagonal layout. And as you can see, I've got a diagonal coming across my page there. So I've got, top left to bottom right. Now I'm just finishing off with these Puffy Hearts. These are from Jen Hadfield as well, but the Avenue collection. And I love these things. I've had 2 packets, but I'm getting through them and I absolutely love them. So I'm going to go ahead and use 2 of these kind of in the 3 sort of clusters. And then I do come in with just a little bit more gold glitter. They don't stick overly well, I'm not sure, but I do like to use some wet adhesive there. And I'm just going to finish off with some gold gold glitter spray, the Jen Hadfield one, just to finish off and add to the clusters. But while I've said all that, please go ahead and check out these cut files. This is a new release from Confessions of a Paper Addict. I'll leave the link to the Etsy store, and also go ahead and check out the links for the Facebook group. Thanks everyone. Bye. you.